Howdy out there in machine shop instruction land, and I guess it applies to all teachers. But I'm just starting my 10th year at my school in Sarasota, Florida at Suncoast Technical College. And early 2019, before the pandemic, I had a fellow instructor come in and from another school, and he showed me how he set up his whole class on an app called Schoology. And I said, "Wow, that's pretty cool." I used to bring in like a remote hard drive, and I had all lists of things like week one, week two, and kind of like a list that I put. I used to put it on the board, and I make PowerPoints of what are we doing this week, and assignments. And before, people would write it down. I said, "Geez, I wish I just had a digital version because if they forget." Or I go ask them, like, how come you didn't do that thing? I'm like, oh, I forgot. I wasn't here. Or I was sleeping that morning or something like that. So they always have a version online. So, like, this is my beginning class. I just made some copies of these. So I actually looked at this Google Classroom, and I got this kind of cranked up, and then COVID hit, which actually turned out to be pretty good because I was able to teach online using this. Somewhat. I don't think any of us were that successful, but we made headway. So I got stream, classwork. It's a pretty simple setup. It's got a calendar. It's got people. Nobody in this particular class because it's a copy of another class. So I put a classwork. They go down the list. Now, this is me as a teacher looking at it. So let me pause for a second and maybe look at it how a student looks at it. So I just invited my test student Pokey, who is my dog. He has his own Gmail account, which is my phone account. I invite him to class. So let me pull up my Gmail here for Pokey. And do we have any emails here? Let's see. Spam inbox. Hang on a second. Okay, I sent him an invite, but I'm looking at the invite list, and it looks like it hasn't come through yet. So you can also give them the class code right here. All right. Now I'll email them this also, and then you can go in and go. Okay, I'm gonna join class. What's that code again? Hold on a second. Okay, I copied it. Copy. Paste. Hit enter. Join. Hit join. Look, it's pretty simple. I think I like about the Google stuff. It's just pretty simple. Only they want you to do all your Google stuff. All right, so now he's in this class here. So his view of the class, because I haven't released anything yet, he doesn't see everything yet. So if I go to classwork, and these are not solid colors yet, I could just do edit. And I could post now. I could edit. I could do it on schedule. Do that one, and like this one, NIMS registration. So going back to his view, I'm going to refresh here. Yeah, I got one right there. You'll go look into this and say log in with your office. It's got the link and everything. I want you to be able to get into the OneNote. And here's a little video. I mean, this is my presentation, but it's all the same presentation I'm using in class. And also a PDF file. And I've done some with a video overlay. This worked pretty good for a couple of years. And then it's not an official county authorized system. And then they started blocking all Google Cloud stuff. We are all Microsoft. We're not Google anything. And they start blocking all this stuff. And I think at one point I got them to fix that for a while, and then they change IT people like monthly around here. So I did find a workaround. I did everything I had in OneDrive. I linked to here. Only it was very hard to get the link, and you got to put in permissions and all that stuff. So I said, let me go back and look at other stuff in my school. Let me go back to my school here. We got to log into something called My SCS, My Sarasota County School. This is like all the students have the same thing. They go into My SCS here, and I'm actually already logged in right now. This is all this stuff. And they said, oh, you want to use Blackboard? Looked at Blackboard. And they set up all the classes for you as far as title. And and they gave me like a sandbox a couple years ago, and I don't know. I look at YouTube videos, and I wasn't quite getting it, like how this works. I did some link. I was trying to do things similar that I did in the other class. I'm like, I don't know about this. But then a lot of the other teachers said, oh, you should be using Microsoft Teams. They have educational. I said, okay, I'll try that. And I started Teams. And the same thing with the Teams. I cannot create my own Teams. I have to have them do it. And the other thing is at the end of the year, they kind of disappear, and I would like to make a copy again. And I also learned there's a difference between an education team, and I think I didn't see it because I don't get to set up the teams, but I saw some more Microsoft videos on what kind of team you could select. So I started playing around with this, and first I started to do my weekly assignments this way, but it wasn't really laying out like the way I thought. And then I started using this channel thing for like, oh, I go week 1, week 2, blah, blah, blah. No, that wasn't working out. And I started playing around with this notebook, which I haven't got anything in here yet. And try to figure out how to, yeah, actually a teacher-only content library. I put in like, these are our semesters. That's how they're labeled. And I want to put in week by the week. And I started looking at that going, maybe I can make it work. I can do week 1, week 2. Maybe. Only, I'll tell you, this thing starts taking up a lot of space over here. Especially if I put some, like, a PDF file of a blueprint. It's like, you get not even half the screen you can work with. So I had another instructor says, just make a OneNote, which is what that is. This wasn't working out too bad, and I actually was able to play around with the settings here, because it was like that. I got one, like Mastercam set up, manual mill project. These are all the projects. I got a project book, the prints and stuff like that. So I said, well, if your screen's small, just kind of set it up like that. You can see it better. So I think I'm sticking with this as far as details of lessons. But my weekly assignments, I'm trying to make this thing work. The other one I was shown was when I was at H-Tech, Dan Frank and Rob Green had stuff they wanted to share with us. And he said, oh, I'll send you my Canvas thing. So Dan Frank sent this to me. And I'm looking at this going, oh, it's not bad. I always heard about Canvas. We don't have Canvas in our school. And then my other fellow instructor, Steve Hadwin, he sent me up how to set up a free Canvas account. So right here. So this is the Dan Frank's one, which is not bad. Now I want to create my own. And where did that one go now? Let me back to my email. Let's see. Canvas team. Canvas free. Right there. Get started. All right. This is actually my fellow instructor's account here. So, but I was adding on to this. He's got this thing called homeroom. So I'm trying to figure this out. I'm looking at this. Not bad, not bad. But I'm trying to do it like by assignment. So should I do it by on the calendar or something like that? But I'll tell you, it's really frustrating, especially after I did all that work on the other one. So probably want to hear from other people the dummy's way to make all this work. Let's see, this one's, if I'm in the Microsoft Office, that's the other login we can use for the students to get in. They use their student ID number and they come in. But I'm always want to look at it from a student point of view. I actually would take an old student's old number and I log in with his ID just to see what it looks like. Because I'm always in the editing mode, not the view mode. And I think Canvas and the Blackboard, you can switch it to student view, which is pretty cool. You can look at it like, how did they see it? You know, like this one. This is like a class notebook, which is OneNote within Teams. And this is like the resource guide of how to log in with your accounts. Because I could put this on the front board, talk about it. Here's another issue here. Like, how do I get this? This is like wasted space on the left here. Is there something on here I can expand tab? Oh, there we go. I'm learning something all the time. Of course, I can't show the whole page. Now, if I put it just a raw PDF file, but if I work out of this, it's everything would be in order. So, how about this one? Open in browser. No. Okay. So I'm going to try to attempt this, but I'll tell you, it's I kind of blew this off all summer, and I said, well, I'll just get a couple of weeks done, and I'll just keep on poking away 1 week at a time. Especially if I go to bring in a new instructor, and I'd like to be able to hand this all over and say, here, just follow this, and you can tweak it whichever way you want. But probably like to hear from you guys. But I like doing these as a video talk. I learned this when fellow instructor showed me Autodesk Screencast, and I started using that to talk to students one-on-one when I reviewed their projects. And I thought that video and me talking, you can see me, is so much better to describe things. I could show, I can talk. It's next best thing to being there. Let's play in the CAD/CAM world. It's probably the best way to review stuff because I can take their file and use it instead of being over their back trying to, like, you know, move the mouse and you should do this and that. When I go around the class and somebody says, oh, can I get a hand with this? I said, no, let me go and put it on the front board and we'll all look at the problem. And then I can manipulate it with my on my computer. So any of this stuff up here. So I guess I just wanted to see how all the other instructors handle all this. Okay, it may be the ups and the downs of that. What I've been doing with a fellow instructor. Let me pull some stuff here. He's big on PowerPoints, and I think I was doing them weekly. Let me do weekly plan. Machining. Homework. Let me go back a week here. Sorry, I'm off screen here. So we have his PowerPoint here. I actually made a PDF file. That's typically what I'm doing right there. I'm just throwing this up here. This is what's this week. OCPB semester, read lathe intro, tech book test. G-code book is cut a comp number 1, and immerse to learn. Just do this lesson here on tighten up CNC machine fundamentals. Start working on that stuff. Plus, I'd make a PDF copy of that because not everybody's got all the Office products, right? And PDFs you can bring up anywhere. So I want to expand this to like per day so I can stay on task. I think even if I've been there 10 years, you think you can do it every day out the top of your head, and you can't. You gotta kind of like I'll take my list of the shop projects, who's on what, try to move people around. Like, okay, you two on the mill, you two on the lathe. Let's see, we're gonna do this morning. This will be this morning's work on any of these, and then after lunch we're gonna go in the shop and everybody's got a job to do out there. So, but I like to hear from other people how they do this. I think it's probably when you get into, especially new teachers or even experienced teachers, how do they manage the class assignments, their daily, everyday life? Okay, that's about it for me. I'll talk to you later.